is up? What is up? What? Look at this. So we are here today with the cars. It is a Saturday afternoon. The shop's empty, so I'm just kind of here. Ta-da! For those of you who don't know, this is my 22 GLI. It is a mostly full bolt-on car, you know, builds in progress. I guess let's just kind of get into it. So I first bought the car back in April 2022. The car had 6 miles on it, and it currently has about 44,000. I've driven it quite a lot. It's been really fun this whole time. You know, as far as mods go, car's almost full bolt-on. You know, take that for whatever you want to call it. You know, the first thing I did was get new wheels. So I actually got those Koenig Ampliforms, the bronze ones, and I'll throw a picture right up here, maybe right up there, maybe up there too, we'll see. Yeah, I pretty much got those immediately, but the car was on stock ride height. You know, not too crazy on the fitment at that time. Lowering the car was actually something I did a little bit later because it was something that I was really scared to always do. And man, I regret that because I should have lowered my other cars that I have too. I actually got those wheels mounted right around July, and I picked them up in June, I believe. Also in July, I picked up this APR Open Pex Intake, and it sounds really good. I wanted more whoosh noises, so that was what we did. And I did run a temporary secondary air filter that was like from AutoZone. Pretty crappy, but I mean, this one is the actual one you're supposed to use, and I just picked this up at some point down the road. I don't really remember when. Before I actually did the wheels, not these Rotiforms, but the Koenigs, I did get the car tinted. Obviously, you know, I like my privacy, so that's why I'm on YouTube. We did taillight tint as well, and it ended up turning out really, really good. Tint, you know, obviously got to do tint whenever you buy a car. Tint, then we did the wheels, then we did the exhaust. Intake. Shortly after that, we actually did the MBRP Catback. I did find that on Facebook Marketplace, and I was like, okay, I guess we'll go with the MBRP. At this time, I was still running the stock downpipe, so you know, we got this MBRP Catback with the carbon tips, and this one's actually for a 2020 GLI, so it's not for the Mark 7.5, which is slightly different, but it's pretty much the exact same for the exhaust. So yeah, I mean, I did that, and then I kind of let the car sit for a little while after that. You know, I did do some small cosmetic stuff. I believe after that, Garrett wrapped the fake fog inlets in black. They're not perfect, but hey, they look a hell of a lot better than the red. After we did the MBRP Catback, the intake, and before the car was lowered, I actually got the Integrated Engineering Stage 1 tune and the DSG Tune. So I was running that for a little while, and that was really enjoyable, but then I pretty much wanted to, you know, get more power. After that, we did the lowering springs. That was the hardest job we had done up to this point. Lowered it on H&r springs, and it really helped kind of fill out those wheel wells. That way, you know, we don't have that ugly huge wheel gap. But yeah, so H&r springs, it's gonna be a little hard to see, but believe me, there's H&r springs under there. Not long after that, I actually ended up getting a CTS Catted Downpipe. I do want to make another video specifically on the downpipe catback setup I have. Essentially, we have the downpipe coming down into the cat, right? Normally there's a reducer that goes down to 2.5 inches from 3 inch, so that way I can connect to the OEM catback that has 3 to a 2.5 inch reducer, and then it's connected with a clamp. In my case, we don't have a reducer at all on the cat, and we don't have one at all on the MBRP. So basically, chopped the end off the MBRP, we put a vibrant ultra quiet resonator in there, and then essentially mounted it straight from the 3-inch outlet to the 3-inch outlet on the cat. It's kind of a unique exhaust, but I do want to make another video on that in the future. It's just one of those things you kind of got to get under the car to really be able to take a look at it. You know, I have done a few other small mods, like changing out the trans filter housing to be billet. No one cares about that, you know. As far as cosmetics go, the only other really big thing we've done is just a lot of vinyl. These are from Swan Vinyl Works, and he actually was test cutting these for me. yeah, he pretty much helped me out with that. Pretty awesome. I love the vinyl. You know, we got it cut here as well for the badges. The next big thing that I decided to do was actually the brake upgrade. The brake upgrade was probably one of the biggest. It was not a difficult job by any means, but it was just a huge difference. So what I actually did was I got a set of the Macan 4-piston Brembo calipers. I got R32 345 millimeter rotors and EBC Redstuff pads. You know, these brakes have been a really good setup so far, and I'm hoping that because they are a lot lighter and they have, you know, slightly bigger rotors, that they will be better for autocross and just track days in general, or mountain runs. You know, just kind of the whole 9 yards when it comes to braking. So that's been a huge help, since we've definitely added more power on the car. It's definitely nice to have the ability to stop well. After we did the big brakes, you know, we did make a video on installing the silicon inlet hose for the intake, and also the turbo inlet pipe along with the dog bone insert. And that really kind of tied everything together. Dog bone insert helps with wheel hop and putting down the power a bit better. Inlet hose and turbo inlet pipe really just helps with better airflow and sounds cool. Really, that's the main reason we did it. We're just gonna say it's performance related, right? You know, other than that, we also did the sequential turn signals right there and the spoiler on the back. We recently switched wheels to the Rotiforms, so this is kind of the whole build here. So one thing I do also want to kind of mention real quick about this car is tires. I've tried 4 sets of tires now in the last 40,000 miles that I've had this car. First set was the Kinergies that came on the vehicle. They suck. Second, I used the DWS-06. Those were great, especially on stock tune. Even with stage 1, they hooked really well and they were very comfortable to drive, but they also had a very soft sidewall. So whenever we were doing things like mountain runs and autocross, you know, we were going in tight turns, the sidewall kind of really gave a lot, and so the car rode on it pretty hard. So after that, you know, I got the stage 2 tune, and then I switched to Firehawk Indy 500s. That was also when I lowered the car, so keep in mind it might be a little bit different, you know, had I already been lowered with the DWS-06s. So those Firehawk Indy 500s, those were a lot better in terms of traction, you know, being able to put power down and also going into turn, you know, because the car was lowered at that point versus when I had the DWS-06s, my results might be a little bit different than what they should be if, you know, both cars were identical suspension setup. I'm running Pilot Sport 4s right now, and I got these with these wheels from my buddy, and I can't say I like them too much. I really prefer the Indy 500s over the Pilot Sport 4s, especially for the price. I mean, they're not bad, they hook okay, and you know, they're okay in corners as well, but I definitely think for the price, these are not worth it. The Indy 500s are a way better value, at least on this car, you know, comparing similar tire suspension setups. And these are even wider than the other 2 sets of tires which I've been running, which were the DWS-06s and the Indy 500s, and both of those were on a 225 4018. These are on a 235 4018. So, you know, bigger tire, worse performance I've noticed, and yeah, just kind of is what it is. Let me know what you guys think down below about my build. I hope you guys like it. I think it's kind of OEM plus, which is what I was going for. I didn't want to do anything too crazy, but I still do have a few things planned, like for example going with E85 hopefully at some point in the future, maybe doing a big turbo, and we got to add coolant in there at some point. And if you guys enjoyed the video, you want to see more content on these 2 vehicles, be sure to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and let me know down below what you guys, you know, think about the channel, I guess. Yeah, catch you guys in the next video.